Hello, 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 everybody. Good morning. This is Linda, your back in the groove again coach. Listen, I didn't prepare anything for today, but I want to give you an update as to what's happening with my moving situation. I've shared in uh, other videos and other lives that I'm moving. I sold my house. And it didn't take a lot of work nor a lot of effort to sell it. But you'll have to listen to the other podcasts or the other videos for that. So I just want to tell you what I'm kind of going through now. Um, I've told my boarders that I'm moving. That was one of the things that I was a little bit concerned about because one of them has been living at my house for 2 years, and I know he probably would have a hard time finding a place, and the other one's been here for a year. So I've told them, and although initially I was kind of worried and concerned, I realized that that was my stuff, my crap, not theirs. So when we hold ourselves back from doing things, one of the things we have to keep in mind is this my stuff or is this their stuff? In this case, it was my stuff. I was holding back on telling them. Probably because it brought up different memories from the past, and I was thinking and worried and concerned about them. But, once I made the decision to tell them, once I realized that that was my stuff and that they could handle it no matter what, it was easier for me to do. So those are things to keep in mind. What is mine? What is my emotional connection to this? And what doesn't belong to me at all? And that was something that, um, I dealt with. Now, what's happening is that, well, a few things. Number one is it took me a long time to figure out what I'm going to be doing and where I'm going to be going. I've made decisions, but there's one thing that's still not clear. So I'm going to be going to Mexico in November for 5 months, and I'll be there till April. After April, I have no idea what I'm going to be doing. And that, for me, is, well, I should say it was a bit scary, because for me, it's important that I feel safe and secure and that I know where I stand with things. And yet at the other end, on the other hand, it's like, well, I'm willing to take risks if I think that I'll be okay. And so I took some time to explore all of my options. And believe me, I explored all of my options. I explored maybe purchasing a trailer before I leave. I explored maybe getting an apartment with somebody and having to split it. I explored looking at a house, buying another house. I've explored many options. The fact is that I do have a lot of options. So when you are in a transition, know that there are a lot of options, right? There are a lot of options. And when I explored my options, I also knew that I didn't have to decide that today. Now, I know that I have a lot of options, and that does help to calm me down. Knowing that I have options helps to bring a little bit more calm to me. But choosing that option is not something I need to do now. I have months to decide. Months. I'm going to be spending time in Mexico till April, starting November, mid-November till April. Lots of time. Lots of things can change. And so I'm choosing to not worry and not spend my time worrying on those kind of things that I have no control over right now. I'm choosing not to worry about that. I acknowledge that I have these concerns. I'm aware that I have options, but I'm also aware that by spending time worrying about it, is not a good use of my time nor energy. So ask yourself that. Ask yourself that question when you know you have a lot of options. Is now the time to decide? Most of the time it's not, right? Most of the time it's not the time to decide. So put it aside, focus on what's important right now. And that's what I'm doing. I'm focusing on what's important right now. The other thing that's happening is, as some of you may know, I'm planning on walking out of my house with hardly anything, which means I'm not bringing furniture with me. I'm going to bring things that I want to keep, that I want to have. The other things I'm leaving here. So what's happening is that every time I look at something, I'm thinking, is that really important? Do I want to bring that with me? And it's crazy. It's crazy the things that I want to bring with me. Now, and I'll give you a silly example, or maybe it's not silly, but I'm giving you an example. I was looking at my tarot cards a couple of days ago. And at one point I thought, I'll just leave them here. But then I thought, no, I don't want to. These cards have brought meaning to me. These cards have been very useful and beneficial to me, and they're really not that big to pack, really. So I've decided I'm going to bring them with me. I'm not going to bring them with me to Mexico now. No, maybe I'll bring one pack and one now that I think about it, but most of them will be in storage. So, when this is the trick, it's so hard. It's hard to figure out, what do I bring with me? What's essential? What's so important that I need to have it? My laptops, there's no question about it. My laptops, the cameras, the little webcam that I have, these are things to me that are essential. First of all, because I need it for work. I would not be able to do my job, my coaching job, my teaching job without them. And they're very expensive. Okay, they're expensive. I don't want to spend that money. So I'm bringing that with me, and it's easy to bring. But there are things like dishes, pots and pans, for example. I don't need that. Now, first of all, I don't need it in Mexico because I have a furnished apartment, but I also won't need it when I go back to where I'll be putting laying my feet down, my roots, where my kids are. I won't need it right away. I won't need it right away. Now, I will probably need it at some point, and I can easily get that at a thrift store. So, these things that I'm giving away or leaving behind are things that are easily purchased and that I'm not emotionally connected to at all. But those cards, for example, there's a bit of an emotional connection to that. My sewing machine, I'm bringing with me. It's expensive, and I have an emotional connection to it. Now, I'm not saying that you have to decide when you make big decisions like moving, for example. I'm not saying you have to decide by what you're emotionally connected to or what is valuable to you. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that at some point you might have to decide certain criteria for you, whether it's an emotional connection, whether it's I can't live without it, I need it, like my laptop, whatever it is, right? I think it's easy to start thinking that we need everything, but we really don't. We really don't. Some of it can easily be purchased or rented or gotten by other means, which means that the less I bring with me in my case, the more freedom I experience, the more freedom I feel. So, I mean, I want to share that with you that like right now it's September 24th. My closing date is November 4th. I've got another 5 weeks or so to go. And of course, every time I look at an item, like the printer, I'm looking at my printer right now. And it is like, do I keep it? Do I need it? I haven't decided. I asked my son if he wants it. And I don't think he has room for it. So I haven't made a decision yet. I'm thinking more than likely I'll leave it here. Maybe I'll bring it with me. It's not very big. I haven't decided. So there are certain items I haven't decided, and I don't need to decide now. I know what's going to happen. I know that when I get on that day that I have to leave, I'll have to make a decision. I'll probably bring it with me. So there are certain things in terms of material possessions that we know for sure we want to bring, we want to keep, and other things that it's like, I don't know. We don't need to make the decision on those things right away either. We can simply wait until we have to make that decision. The other thing that I'm noticing is that I'm doing a little bit of grieving. I've been in here, my house, for 10 years. I've been living in this neighborhood for 10 years. I didn't like it at first, but it took me a while to get used to it and to like it, to enjoy it. So I'm noticing that I'm going through a bit of grief. I'm thinking of my neighbors, how it took me a little while to get to know them, but how much I appreciate them. So today I ordered a few little gifts online. There's a couple of neighbors that I want to give a little gift to, thanking them for being good neighbors. And because I know that more than likely I will not see them again. I know that. And I know that, well, I don't know for sure, but I think I more than likely won't be coming back to the city again. Ottawa, I live in a city close to Ottawa. More than likely I will visit Ottawa again. But, these are all things that I assume right now. So I'm noticing that the grieving every time I walk by a street, because I've been walking a lot this summer. I look at houses, I'm going, wow, I think I'm going to miss this walk. I'm going to miss it, which is, absolutely normal. Now, the fact that I'm missing it isn't stopping me from moving on and moving forward, because those are going to be memories that I will have for the rest of my life. So when you are wanting to move forward, what are you really holding on to? That's the question. What are you really holding on to? Is it material goods? Is it emotions? Emotional connections to things, to people, to places? And I'm asking that mostly if you are thinking of making a change, whether it's at home or at work, in your personal life, with relationships. The question is, what are you really holding on to? And I'll leave you with that thought. And of course, if you want to talk more about it, I am here. I'm here. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name is Linda G. Robert, your Back in the Groove Again coach. I am here to help you live your best life right now so you can love what you do. Go to my website, backinthegrooveagain.com. Send me an email at backinthegrooveagain@gmail.com. If you want a Back in the Groove Accelerate session, I'd love to meet with you. We can meet on Zoom, and we can talk about what's holding you back. Perhaps you'll work with me as your coach. All right, I'll leave you with that. Talk to you soon. Stay tuned for some more great videos. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And by the way, I don't know if you knew this, but I also have a podcast. You'll be able to find it on podcasts, Back in the Groove Again. Bye. Take care.